Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Rue, and I suffer from depression and anxiety. I actually wrote down some notes here to kind of keep me on track today. Been meaning to get this done all day long, and it just seems like one thing after another, till finally Mr. Rue and my daughter are outside, and they're getting a new piece of equipment that was purchased for a tractor. They're doing something with that, moving it, or I don't know. So I don't know. That's outside territory, is Mr. Roos. I just go with the flow. But I do know that a couple of times the tractor has gone by my bedroom window. I came in the bedroom and I shut the door so that, maybe I could get this video done and not have too many interruptions. So if you hear a tractor go by, that's probably Mr. Roo giving my daughter a ride on the tractor, because if the tractor comes out, my little country girl throws on her rain boots and whatever else, she might need, rain jacket, it don't matter. She just throws whatever on, and I want to go, I want to ride on the tractor. So that's where that stands. But today, I thought I would start out and just tell you that things have been really crazy around here since the tornado. We've had lots and lots and lots of stuff, going on. Different things having to be done that's not, just kind of out of the normal. But we're slowly getting back to our new normal. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. When we were in the trenches, those first few days, the first week, it was crazy around here. We ate whatever went by. There were several times, I think, we live way up off the road, so people didn't a lot of times come up here. We had friends that she cooked us an amazing meal and brought that. Her husband was up here working all day long on that Saturday, and he came up the day after the tornado, but they wouldn't let him down our street because looting and stuff was so bad. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it's bad enough that we've all gone through this, or we're emotionally wrecked. And then to have people come up and try to take things from, the houses just because they can get into them now. I mean, really? Wow. It blew my mind. Honestly, it did. But in those first days where I felt like, you have fight or flight, and we were fighting. I mean, we were fighting. We were digging our heels in, and we were doing whatever had to be done, needed to be done, phone calls to be made, things to check on. It was like all you heard around here for days were chainsaws going on and on and on. I mean, we had over 200 trees down on our property alone, and most of that was across our driveway. So, it took a lot to get it out. I haven't had a car in 3 weeks. It's at a body shop, but it's not like I was the only one in an accident. I mean, it was like, hundreds of cars are there, and it's a very well known. They do great jobs, so it's where you definitely want to take your car. So, between my parents, we had, there's an extra car. So, so I've had something to drive if I've needed to go somewhere. But, with the coronavirus, there's not been a lot of that. You don't need to, grocery stores about it. And that's one way, boy, you want to figure out a way to put the coronavirus out of your mind. Get hit by a tornado. It does it really fast. I mean, we didn't wear masks. We didn't wear gloves. I mean, we might have worn gloves, like work gloves, but not like, like surgical gloves or something like that was recommended. But we were digging. We were trying to fight through to a new normal. And now it's almost like it's worse mentally now, because now so many, all the trees are pretty much cut down from just like hanging in people's yards, or, and hanging across the road and hanging in the what are those things, the line, the, the power lines and stuff, all of that's been cleaned up. It's all been cut up, and now there are these huge trucks that have been working every day, and they have these big, huge crane-like things on them that go over onto the shoulders of the road, and they pick up all these big logs and brush and branches and anything like that that's I don't say living, I mean, because it's not living, but not like household, like you can't throw your ruined couch out there. This is for tree removal purposes only. But now it's like everything is cleaned out really well, and you can really see the damage and the devastation that so many people around us have had. And it's like, when we were fighting, digging for our normal, to get back to normal, that was our thing. When we get back to normal, we get back to normal. We are back to normal. And back to normal is kind of depressing. I know this property here, there's no way we'll have, a 300-year-old oak tree standing next to the corner of our house again, ever, not in our lifetime. It's gone. It's beautiful shade. It'll be interesting to see. We're kind of up on a hill. There's always a breeze blowing. So now it's going to be interesting to see when there's no trees, So are we just going to be, in the baking hot sun? It's be interesting to see where it's going to, where it's going to end up. We have enough firewood. We'd have a 3-year-long bonfire and the thing would never go out. Mr. Rude, we were all trying to be funny and, whatever, just to get through. And he said, well, I know what I can do. He goes, let's put an ad on Craigslist and say, free firewood. You cut, you take. He said that the morning after the tornado that night, because it was about midnight, I guess. And that morning at daybreak, we were outside, looking to see what kind of damage and what we were looking at. He's like, well, that could get it all cut. He said people could come and take all the firewood away they wanted. At that point, you're grasping for straws. You're grasping for anything to lighten, the emotional toll and, the mental strain that the fear has brought on. So, we were all grasping at straws, trying to lighten the load a little, lighten the mood. But I tell you, we got so used to in the weeks before the tornado, because the quarantine had already started at that point. I've got friends all across the country. I've got some friends in Scotland. I've got some friends in Germany, all over. And it was so neat because this was the first time, our country has gone through things. Their countries have gone through things, but this is the first time we were all in this coronavirus boat together. And I got so used to that, solidarity, that it was hard for me to think about, they weren't in the tornado. It was just a few miles of here, that was in that tornado with us. And it was so weird because I was like, oh yeah, no, they didn't have a tornado. That was just us. And then people asked, they're like, oh, aren't you afraid to have workers and stuff at your house? Afraid that, you won't be able to social distance. At that point, no, we didn't have a choice. We didn't, we weren't like hugging and stuff like that, where we probably would have if Corona had not been around. We were smart, but it really, the coronavirus was not in our forethought. It was very much so tornado first, and then after that was, oh yeah, coronavirus. We have a pandemic going on. I mean, okay, but it's weird how things can prioritize your life and change those priorities so quickly when you think you've got everything figured out and know exactly what you need to do. But that's really, it really came second nature, and now, or moved down to the second spot on our radar. And now, the tornado stuff is starting to kind of fade away, and now we're starting to pay more attention to Corona and making sure, now when we did have to run to like Lowe's or Walmart or somewhere for things like, they needed oil for the chainsaws, gas for the chainsaws, we did wear our mask and our gloves and stuff like that. If we were going to be outside of our property in a public place, we most definitely would wear a mask and our gloves, because truthfully, we had enough on our plates. We didn't need to be getting sick at the same time. That would have just been too much, let me tell you. I consider us blessed. I mean, so far we have come through this coronavirus. We've gone through a tornado, and my family is still standing strong, standing safe, standing well, and probably closer together than we were before. I mean, I always feel like tragedy can do one of two things. Push you apart and put you on different thought, processes and different priorities and things like that, or it can bring you together. And, thank you to the good Lord that it brought us all together closer. That's just kind of how my family rolls, though, and kind of used to that, but it's not always that way. So I need to stop and be thankful for that as well. This past week, I had a small miracle happen. I got a haircut. I needed a haircut when the coronavirus quarantine started. And now it's been about 2 months and it was getting terrible. It was so long, I was like wondering, can I braid it back or something? I don't do long hair at all. I don't look good with long hair. My hair is thin and fine, and if it gets any weight to it, it drags down and it looks like a drowned cat to me. I look terrible. And then I also got a pedicure. I have not, however, done anything with my nappy looking nails. I do those usually at home anyway, and I just haven't taken the time, but I felt like a new woman. Thursday was the day. I went and I took my little girl, and she gets her toes painted, and I, of course, did the whole pedicure thing, and she picked her color. She asked me if she could when we went, because usually that's Nana and her thing to do. She usually takes her and gets her, when she gets her pedicure, she'll get my daughter's toes painted. But this time it was just me and her, and she said, "Mama, can I pick out the color like I pick out the color when it's mine and Nana's nails?" And I said, "Baby, it'll depend on what the color is that you want." I said, "I'm going to leave it as we'll see." And then, so we got over there, and she was looking, and she found her color, which was, it's not super pastel, but it's kind of like a milky, like if you see milk paints or whatever, it's got that kind of opaqueness to it in a purple. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can do that. So it thrilled her to death, because she's saying we're toe twinsies. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I can wear purple toenail polish. I don't care. I usually go like more gothic, I guess, with mine. I do my nails a lot of times in black or dark, dark navy blue. I don't know why. I like it. I do it on my fingernails sometimes too. You never know with me. You absolutely never know. It's whatever way the wind's blowing that day for sure. But it was, it was good to get out. It was good to do that. I left from the nail salon, and I had an appointment at the hair salon, which are right next door to each other. And so I got my hair cut, and I like it. It's, kind of back to me, my spiky craziness going on. I'm about to need color again. I do that myself too. I'm probably a cheapskate is what it boils down to. I guess if I was a millionaire, I would probably go get everything done. But hey, I got things I want to use money for other than doing things I can do for myself. Hopefully I'm trying to get back on schedule here. Life has been so crazy, and without the internet, usually my videos, they take maybe 5 minutes, truthfully, to load and post. It took me 3 hours to load the last, or to process the last video, and then about 3 hours for it to load. And I'm like, holy cow, I can't do this. And plus, we didn't have Wi-Fi at the house, so we were on hotspot. it was just a crazy time, and I didn't have the patience. And then the Liesel thing, because at this point right now, I'm still videoing on my cell phone, and I don't know, if that's going to change for a while. I mean, I've got a really good cell phone that does really good video. It's kind of hard to part with money to do something else if I don't, if I don't need it. I'm kind of thrifty like that. Again, I'd rather spend the money on other things than upgrading or buying something that I don't necessarily need, I mean, there may come a time when I need to, and I have gotten my lapel mic in. Obviously, I'm not using it today. I haven't had time to sit down and just figure it out. And, I don't want to film a whole video and find out, oh, it didn't take the audio at all. Great. I don't have time for that right now. I'll get it all figured out, but I'm hoping to get back to my Tuesday, Thursday posting, which has been my goal all along, but life is just not cooperating with me with that. So, we've got a huge work week or work weekend coming up. I'm making my porch. I've got a screened in porch, and Mr. Rue we're going even one step further than what we were before. We're going to go ahead and close in, like, from the railing down, to make it, eventually it will be a sunroom. Right now it's just a screened porch, but we're going to add the physical walls or whatever on the bottom, so that it'll be more closed in. It's going to be an outdoor oasis / living room kind of thing. Have 3 huge boxes of furniture right now on my porch that he's like, oh goody, another project for me on my plate. He's like, I guess I have to put this stuff together, don't I? And I said, yeah, unfortunately. But I've got my furniture, I got an area rug, it's got a coffee table, I've bought a couple of decorations, I've bought like throw pillows and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of, project porch this weekend. So hopefully maybe next Tuesday when I film a video, I'll be filming it from outside on my porch. The front of the house is gorgeous. I think it's rock. It's like a gray, variated gray rock. It's got blacks, grays, whites, all that kind of, colors in it. And my area rug is black and white buffalo plaid. That's what I got. So it's going to have like kind of the farmhouse feel. I have curtains coming in. So I've got to get all the drapery. They're like shears, to tie back into the corners. I bought an old window frame that I'm going to hang in the center of the porch behind the couch portion. I'm going to have a big grapevine wreath on that. I think it'll be pretty when it's done. I hope. We spent a lot of money to make it pretty. And I hope it's an area that we can enjoy lots. I mean, I can see us having fire pit parties. I can see us just, having friends over for dinner and, relaxing over, coffee or something, dessert out there, just, with lots of fellowship and friendship and fun and just a lot of good living. So we got a lot in the works. We've got so much left to be done, but you know what? It'll come. It's happening little by little, and I just have to learn to be more patient. I'm not real good with that. I want things done right now, and completion done. I don't like to wait for things, and God shows me every now and then that, yeah, he is still in control, and he hasn't turned the reins over to me yet. So I just have to learn to live with it. But I've got a much better outlook on life. I have started when we moved states, and I could not stay with my same counselor that I had. It's just too far. And PTSD is alive and well after the tornado. The very next Sunday, same kind of thing. It started getting dark, that weird green color. You could see the trees swaying back and forth. There were tornado, whichever one it is, where there's the one where the conditions are right. I never can remember which is which, But, a warning or a watch, one of the two means that conditions are favorable, and the other one means there has been tornadic activity. But it was the whichever one that just said conditions were favorable. Well, my daughter's freaking out. I'm freaking out on the inside, and I just have to keep having this conversation with myself about how I have to keep it together for her, because my first thing is, yeah, I want to curl up in a ball and cry too, because it's scary. So when I start, boy, and I know PTSD. I've had it for years. I've, learned lots of things to work through, but it's really hard for me when I'm working through PTSD with other situations that I've been through in my life. It's always just me, and it's just me that's having to work through them. It's just me that it's affecting. It's just me that has to do the work. I can do a lot with just me. I can shove a lot down for just me. But when it's my daughter and she needs my help, and I'm seeing PTSD screaming in her, and it just breaks my heart for her, because I know how she feels. I'm sitting there feeling the same thing. I'm 48 years old. She's 7. And I'm having trouble dealing with it. And, that fear, that terror that can rise up in you, and you just can't, get away from it. And so that Monday, I called and I said, look, I got to have some help. I got to get in. I've got to see something. So I've had one appointment on the 14th. My next one's on the 29th. We dotted all the T's, crossed all the I's with my health insurance, where you have to show where there is cause to have counseling with insurance companies, and then they'll dictate what you can have. The insurance companies are ruling the world anymore. When your doctor has to call and ask what medication they can prescribe, there's something wrong in our country. I'm just saying. But I have started counseling again. I got to get a handle on this. I cannot freak out every time it rains. So yeah, I wish us luck, because we're struggling. We really are. We can put on a brave face. We can laugh. We can giggle about it. We can, but deep down underneath, those are coping mechanisms that we are engaging in. And we're hurting. Just truthfully, we're hurting. And, but we're taking those steps, because I've been here before. I'm sure things will happen, we'll be here again, but just, send good thoughts our way, especially for my little girl. She's so terrified. But hopefully I'll have another video up next Tuesday, and maybe I'll have more good news to print. So until then, go out and make those good decisions so we can live our best life. Thanks. Bye.